cool.
All right, so that way then hopefully it's not too crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I like that.
All right, so for those of you listening, right, you're probably thinking, hey, look, or what the heck's going on, right? There's an episode here. It sounds a little off. So we're gonna start this off by we got to hit a couple things. A public service announcement, State of the Union, so to speak.
Full transparency.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and let's touch on the fact that the world is a crazy place. By the time you're listening to this, you've experienced COVID-19. You've experienced Black Lives Matter movement. You've been probably trapped at home for a couple months. Some of you have been out there still working your day-to-day. It's affected everyone and everything, right? For those of you who listened to the end of season 2, you saw that there was some audio that we had. There were some hiccups there because we were recording remotely. But at some point, we had to push forward. Season 3 is here, right? But we do want to point out that Season 3 is here, and there's going to be some changes, some differences. Social distancing still exists. The health of the three of us here is very different. Due to that fact, it's going to be a 2-man show for the near future. Adam and myself are going to be your voices. We're going to be screaming in your ear. We're going to be bringing you the news. Marvin may jump in throughout. There's no guarantee there, but we do want to put that on your guys' radar. Hopefully everything pans out. But in the meantime, I'm right here to cough in Adam's face, and he's here to cough in mine.
Yeah, we are definitely not social distancing right now.
Yeah. No, I'm not wearing gloves or a mask. It is.
We're pretty close.
Yeah.
So,
due to that fact as well, right, audio's a little off here. At some point, it'll get ironed out within the next couple episodes. You guys will notice that rather quickly. So nothing to worry about there. And then we had teased last season that we were going to have some video for you. That's going to be delayed a little bit, but again, it's still in the works. Season 3 is going to be, it's going to be an interesting season for sure. So, with that being said, I hope that you guys stick around as usual, right? Hit us up in the comments section, all that fun stuff. This episode, if you haven't already read the subject line, we're going to be talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League. We're going to be talking about some Hellraiser licensing. We're going to be talking about what's been keeping us going throughout COVID. But before we do all of that, let's listen to that music.
Well, play the music.
I don't even know.
Yeah. Who knows what it is, right? If I didn't say it before, let me say it now. Hello and welcome to another episode of In Our Honest Opinion, Season 3. I am one of your hosts, Will, and joining me as usual is...
Adam.
Yo.
Hey.
So, this, over the past few months, there's been a lot of things that have been shut down, a lot of things that have been delayed a year, all kinds of, all the big movies I think we were looking forward to.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
That's the one that hurts, man. Because I'm just curious to see how bad or good it's going to be.
Yeah.
And now I got to wait an extra year.
What's this other one, the Marvel one that's been delayed again? And
what,
it's been
Black
delayed.
Widow?
No. That got pushed to November. I think that's still coming out, right?
Yeah. But
No.
still...
But what's the other crap? The horror one with Maisie Williams, right? Is that her name?
Oh, you're talking about the New Mutants.
New Mutants. That got
which
pushed back again. So if anybody's looking forward to that,
that poor movie. People have been waiting for what, like 3 years to see it.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're about that. But people have Artemis Fowl now on Disney Plus,
which you've told me is amazing.
It's a word.
Amazing.
We'll go with amazing. That doesn't necessarily mean good things.
Amazingly good. Amazingly bad.
Before we start jumping into all that, though, there are things that usually we ask Marvin to tell people. But Adam, I'm going to put that responsibility on you. What do you got to say to the people?
If you would, you have a few moments a few spare moments. If you would just give us a 5-star rating, that will continue to allow us to create and deliver new episodes to you guys. And, well, we really want to keep doing that.
That's right.
So
you guys can do that on all of our social media. Remember, you can always go to inouronestopinion.com. That's where you can find all the links.
And also, we forgot the most important thing.
Oh, I didn't forget. I was leading up to it.
Oh, you were leading up to it? You want to say it?
Yeah, digital hugs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where you can go ahead and give us your digital hugs across any of our platforms. Again, head over to inouronestopinion.com and leave them wherever you want them. I'm looking forward to it.
So. Yeah, I mean, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yeah. With that being said, let's talk a little bit more about like all these delays, right? Movies got to push back just like New Mutants, right?
Yep.
Some movies got digital release, and the one I really want to talk about here is the fact that Trolls World Tour seems to have single-handedly screwed up the relationship between Universal Pictures, right? Universal Studios,
Yeah,
and theaters.
Yeah, it's. I actually made an episode about that on Adam Analyzes, and it's ridiculous that it's Trolls 2, excuse me.
Trolls 3. It's the
Trolls
third
3.
film, isn't it?
No, I thought it was the second one.
Is it the second? It goes to show you how many I've watched.
Oh, did this one have a great Justin Timberlake song too?
I'm sure there's a Justin Timberlake song.
Okay.
In there. Yeah. All right, so I'm a huge
Trolls fan.
No, fan of going to the movies, like of going to the theater. Right? You can go bad word yourself. I love going to the theaters. Right? I love watching it up on the big screen. We're AMC A-list, if that's still a thing in the near future, which we're going to touch on a little bit.
Who knows?
Yeah. But we were AMC A-list subscribers, which meant, for those of you who don't know, you get to watch, 3 movies a week, every week in any format.
Yeah, 3D,
Dolby, IMAX.
3 movies a week. The only ones that aren't there are the, what are they called? The special engagements?
Yeah, exactly. So,
which kind of sucks.
I'd like it if they include. Sometimes they do. That's how I got into Alita Battle Angel.
Yeah.
I was able to get that. So it depends, right? If people buy into it, they let everyone watch anything. If not, they kind of let people
What is
watch
that company called?
Fathom.
Fathom.
Yeah, Fathom Events.
Yeah, every Fathom event, I had to pay. Yep. Like when I saw Batman 89.
Gotcha.
Had to pay.
Oof.
I had that, and then also Jay and Silent Bob reboot. When I went to see that, had to pay.
Yeah, that one I'm not surprised.
I mean, not a big deal, but it's just annoying at the same time.
Would you pay the premium? For them to include Fathom events, an extra $5 a month?
Oh my god, probably not, because it's few and far between when I actually do that stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And so because of that, I mean, I kind of understand.
Yeah.
I still like the fact that I get to choose any of the other formats. I do partake in 3D and IMAX, or not IMAX, but 3D and Dolby.
Dolby,
those are the 2 formats that I kind of bounce in between.
Yeah.
So with that being said, right, whether or not theaters are a thing of the future, it does look like Universal Studios has said, hey, we made a crap ton of money off of Trolls World Tour. And so moving forward, we want to do day one releases, right? Where we release the film in theater and we release it on digital at home. $20 to watch it.
Which I don't know if that's going to continue on everything once we're in a past COVID world.
Yeah.
Who knows what's gonna happen?
Yep.
What I do know is that Tony Todd confirmed with Candyman, more or less, that it's going to be a day and date, that it's going to be in theaters and it's going to be in streaming as well for $20.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, he didn't actually say it, but somebody went and asked about it.
Yeah.
And he went and he like retweeted it or something like that.
Gotcha.
So he more or less was saying, hey, this is what's going to happen. I mean, you have that, which I think that's probably one of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
Out of all of them that's doing this.
Yeah.
But you had that, King of Staten Island, too.
So that one got released recently, right?
Specifically to digital.
Yeah. And they pulled it because it looked like they were going to release it in some theaters, right? Theaters are kind of opening back up right now. But literally the day before...
It was drive-thrus.
Yeah.
Oh, they were going to put it in drive-thrus.
Yep. And they were like, no. That was a mistake. So here's the thing.
Wait, while we're touching on that,
on
the releasing of movies and stuff, how weird is this? Invisible Man hit number 1.
Yeah.
It hit number 1, and 15 weeks later or whatever, it wound up hitting number 1 again because
of the digital release.
Not because of digital. because of it being released in drive-thrus.
Oh.
Or drive-ins, excuse me.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
There you are at McDonald's.
Yeah.
All like, yeah, let me sit here for 2 hours.
I mean, it's going to be like the old school McDonald's where you get a
Yeah.
free tape.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Instead, you get a DVD now.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. But what I think is foolish on Universal's part is that, hey, man, it was kind of the perfect storm, right? There was no new releases. There were no new releases up until that point.
Yep.
Everyone at that point was kind of a few weeks into the lockdown.
Yeah.
And so it's the only thing that was released. And so, of course, people flocked to it.
And not only that, you had the parents.
Yeah.
The parents wanted to keep their kids occupied.
Kids occupied.
And you think about it,
No school.
they had that movie for 48 hours,
Oof.
which means you could just have that thing
Go
on
at
repeat.
it. Go at it. Go at it.
And
Exactly.
the kids could just watch it and get their troll fix, man.
And so theaters pushed back. AMC specifically was all like, no, that's not the way that we do business, so screw it. We're going to stop showing Universal films, which takes away the Fast and Furious franchise. Didn't that take Candyman as well? Isn't that a Universal picture?
Yeah, that's Universal too. Let's see, other things that it took away from the Dark Universe. I mean, that was off the table from here on out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, they can keep that, though.
honestly, I think Invisible Man probably could have kicked that thing off again.
I don't think. Who?
Sure.
No.
Sure, why not?
I forgot. What is her name again? She does that, damn, what is that Amazon show that she does, right?
Oh, you're talking about Hulu.
Is it on Hulu?
Handmaid's
The
Tale?
Handmaid's Tale?
Yeah.
Is that Hulu?
Yeah.
Sweet Jesus.
Yeah.
I watched, I think, just the first season of that, and I never flocked back. If any of you guys listen or watch that show, let me know why I should watch season 2,
Because you hate men. I mean, isn't that what the show is about?
I don't even remember.
I thought it was like the women are uprising.
Maybe that's what they're doing in season 2. Somebody fill me in. I don't mind spoilers. Maybe it'll sell it too.
You're thinking of Elizabeth Moss. Is her name.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
she kind of drives me crazy because I can't stand looking at her. I don't know
There's something
why.
off. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, like she drives me crazy, but I liked her in that one movie.
Invisible Man?
No, the one I love. She was in that movie, but she was balanced out by Jay Duplass. So
yeah, I think he's a pretty good actor.
Yeah,
I
actually,
think he was a good writer too, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah,
some stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, that's the state of all that. I'm hoping that. AMC doesn't, and for those of you who don't know, they might be filing bankruptcy. I hope that's not the case. That's my theater of choice.
Which is scary.
Because how is AMC going down when Regal is still going to go? What's the other one? Cinemark?
There's it's because of the dealings, because they bit off more than they could chew. Like because it's a Chinese company that was buying up a whole bunch of other companies.
Gotcha.
They weren't expecting any of this to happen. They were thinking that they were going to just turn it into profit.
Gotcha.
Now they have a ton of debt.
Ugh.
So that's the issue. Add to the fact too that the one guy is involved in a scandal, like the guy that was running the company.
I guess I didn't read the whole article. What did
owns
he do?
AMC. I don't know. I forget. I'll send you a video.
Yeah.
And there's some kind of scandal there too.
Oh, great.
I mean, hopefully AMC does pull out. Hopefully.
I hope they do, man.
I mean, I don't want to see them
experience.
owned by Netflix or Amazon or Google. I don't want to see any of that happen.
Imagine that power move, though, right? That if Netflix, I think out of all of them, if Netflix stepped in and said, all right, so we're going to go ahead and buy AMC.
Which they're trying to do, because didn't they buy a few theaters in California?
You're right, I think they do, right? And then now you've got those releases where now you've got some Netflix films that are going to be released in theater as well, right? And so they can, for those who are subscribed, they get to watch it. For those who want that full, movie-going experience. And Netflix is pumping out films like crazy.
They are.
And documentaries like crazy. I mean, I'm just going to hop into my Netflix now real quick just to take a look at, this is what's trending in this is one of my favorite features that I don't utilize for Netflix is the top 10 in America right now.
I actually didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. So top 10 in the U.S. as of this recording, right today, 365 days. I was hanging out with Ray the other night.
I don't know what that is.
This thing is supposedly filled with a bunch of sex,
Sweet.
terrible acting.
And terrible sex too, right?
Terrible sex too.
Okay.
So I didn't even try to start watching it. 13 Reasons Why is number 2. Defy Blood, is number 3, which is Spike Lee joint.
Which is a pretty big one that they got Spike Lee's next movie. You know?
I want to watch that. Alexa and Katie, no damn clue what that is. Space Force, which I've got bad things to say about. F is Family. Avatar, The Last Airbender. The cartoon, not that terrible Shyamalan movie.
First thing was the movie. That's what I thought of.
Yeah, exactly. Pokemon Journeys, the series, whatever the hell that is. How to Get Away with Murder is number 9. And Jeffrey Epstein, Filthy Rich is number 10.
Yeah, but not a lot of those are Netflix originals.
13 Reasons Why, Defy Bloods, Alexa and Katie, Space Force, Family. So 1, 2, 3,
all right.
4, 5. 5 out of 10. 6 out of 10.
Whatever.
The Jeffrey Epstein thing.
Whatever, man.
So now you know it's produced by Netflix. Or at least what they're claiming is produced by Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, because they just buy crap, too. Like, they'll buy, like, a whole bunch of international shows.
A movie will be put together, and then Netflix will come and buy it, and then stamp their label on it, and be like, we were behind this the whole time. No, you bought it at the last minute.
I mean, not every movie can be bright.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
Which I seriously dislike. I thought that was a bad movie.
I didn't hate it as much as you did.
30 minutes. I made it 30 minutes into it.
Did you?
And I wound up falling asleep, and I never went back to it.
By the Steelbook. I'm actually a little annoyed that they bought and I know it's not a good movie. I'll admit that much. But the last Cloverfield film, Cloverfield Paradox.
Oh yeah.
I'm annoyed at the fact that it's Netflix's because you can't buy it anywhere.
Yeah, you can.
Where?
You can. It is on Blu-ray, I believe.
Is it?
Yeah, you can. I don't think you can buy
digitally,
but you can buy the Blu-ray. It was released.
All right, Cloverfield Paradox. Let's see if I can get it. Paradox. Let's see if I can find it digitally. And podcast. Nope. Songs. Nope. Albums. You can buy the album.
You can buy the Blu-ray. I know you're against buying physical, but you can buy the Blu-ray if you really want. Does it come with a digital copy? It might. I don't know.
Let's find out, because if that's something I could throw on my voodoo. Cloverfield Paradox. It's one of those universes that it's a guilty pleasure. Like I enjoy it.
Paradox is actually the one I haven't seen yet,
and that's the worst one of the group, because I enjoyed the original Cloverfield.
Yeah.
I enjoyed 10 Cloverfield Lane,
and Super 8 was really good.
Yeah. That's pretty much.
Man,
it looks like it's the same monster. And they should have just added it to it.
It's not in the Cloverfield universe.
Paradox, I don't see anything for...
As far as I know, they released it, though.
No, nothing. Nothing popped up.
You know what? I'm pretty sure they released it.
Anyway, so while you do that, right, it would be interesting if Netflix did buy out AMC theaters. I think that would give them an edge over a lot of over the other streaming competitors, and dare I say, it would continue to shape and move kind of the entertainment industry, right? Yeah. Netflix used to just be discs. At some point, they brought in, hey, there it is. Next, why the hell didn't that pop up?
For $10
and 45 cents.
Yeah,
Walmart.
And if anybody wants to own it, you can buy it at Walmart. Amazon sucks with their search a lot of times.
Really?
It does.
I mean, it didn't pop up at all. I didn't know that. I rely on their search quite a bit.
I think their search sucks, because most of the time when I'm looking for a Blu-ray, I have to specifically type that I'm looking for a Blu-ray, because they want to put me into buying it digitally on Prime. Where, hey, this is with a Prime account.
Yeah.
And it's like, no.
Get 99 cents to buy a song. I'm like, nah, man, just ship it to me tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need that dollar.
Screw you, Jeff Bezos.
It would be interesting to see, though, how that continues to kind of shape and move that entire, medium. Because I do enjoy going to theaters. That's one of those things that I hope doesn't go away. Adam, you know that recently, I obviously enjoy home entertainment. I've got a new television that's ridiculous in size.
It is.
And and still, I want to go to the theater. I want to see that gigantic, screen up there, dark room. I've had awesome experiences when when I went and watched Avengers in theaters.
Yeah.
That's a whole vibe. Oh, yeah, careful.
Whoa.
Almost screwed it up. That's a whole vibe. When I saw A Quiet Place in theater, that was a whole different vibe. Like,
Yeah.
it's an experience that I do miss.
Yeah,
A little nostalgia for you.
I agree that sometimes the theater can definitely enhance,
Yeah.
the viewing. It's one of those things that I've gotten away from a lot of theater viewing, sadly. Not intentionally, it's just I stopped going because it was so expensive.
Yep. Yeah. I did too.
The A-list, I definitely try to use it, when I can.
I think A-list helped, right? It helped boost your movie going a little bit.
Yeah, because I would have not seen Sonic the Hedgehog in theaters.
I forgot I went and saw that.
You saw part of it.
I saw half an hour total.
Yeah.
15 minutes at the beginning, 15 minutes at the end. My boys loved it. I watched it with my sons. They loved it. So.
Well, you missed Sonic going fast.
I saw him go fast at the end.
Oh, did
He went fast at the end.
Yeah,
last 15 minutes. Yeah. And then I wanted Olive Garden or whatever the hell it was.
But yeah, it's I don't know. It's one of those things. I like going to the theater definitely. But sometimes I have a good experience watching a movie at home too.
Yeah.
Like if I watch something bizarre and like artsy in a theater.
Yeah.
Sometimes it kind of takes away. Like yes, I'm focusing.
Yeah.
But my mind is not in the same mindset. When I watch something like that at home, like where it needs to actually be thought about or analyzed, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah. It's one of those
there
things
you are, just Adam analyzing.
That I can actually go and focus more.
Shameless plug. You're a bastard.
I mean, it wasn't intentional, but
sure.
It wound up being intentional.
And for those of you who don't know, AdamAnalyzes.com is where you can head to listen to Adam's podcast. So that's definitely still a thing.
It is.
You didn't even take a hiatus. Let's transition, right? For those of you listening, let us know. Hey, are you big into going to the theaters? Do you enjoy the fact that more movies are, or whatever streaming service you're into, that they're releasing more and more content? Or is that kind of it? Hey, I'd rather stay at home. I'd rather watch a movie there. Or yes, the theater is definitely a fun getaway.
Real quick, I do have to apologize to Mr. Jeff Bezos. I want to make sure that he doesn't have me killed because I did insult him.
You did.
Ellen DeGeneres, I think I made.
You insulted her?
Yeah, early on. No, early on with the Spectrum thing.
That's right.
That's a season 1 thing, man.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
And then
you did that quite a bit.
What was the other one? Tim Cook could probably have me killed too. So
probably. Please,
to all those people, I apologize. And
yeah.
I enjoy living. Thank you.
For now. Let's transition over to Adam Analyzes, if you don't mind.
Sure.
What's it been like for you, right, amidst all this COVID stuff? You haven't taken a break, right? Your season's still going. You've been popping them out.
Yeah. No breaks. I think one might have gotten released on a Saturday.
Gotcha.
Or very late Friday, but for the most part, yeah, there's been no breaks as far
Business
as that goes.
Usual. And you haven't been trapped home.
No.
You've been going to work. You're an, I love this word, you're an essential employee, right?
I'm essential, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm not, I guess I'm saving lives in a way.
Sure.
Because somebody, Pete.
Every vibrator needs a AA.
Yeah. And
every car needs a battery.
Yeah. So, we're essential. So, cool.
Yeah. And so life has kind of been almost normal for you in that sense, right?
For the most part.
What's been the experience watching the rest of the world kind of fade away? Like, I'm going to be honest, right? I haven't been affected either. I haven't been trapped at home. I've been working. But the one thing I did notice, traffic went away.
Traffic.
Everything, the world itself got kind of quiet while I continued to move through it.
And traffic.
What was that like for you?
Traffic actually is still pretty good. I haven't really gotten stuck.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll take me 5 to 10 minutes longer,
yeah.
Or shorter. But yeah, traffic's been good.
What about shopping in stores? I think
that's the part that's tough.
Yeah.
Not being able to actually really do anything other than go to work, come home and say watch something or
Yeah.
record or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's taken a toll on me as far as like depression and stuff like that. I mean, I've been more depressed than normal.
Yeah.
I mean, and it sounds kind of silly when you put it that way because I can't go out and do something. I'm so
No, but
like privileged or whatever to do that,
to be able to go out to work and get some sort of social interaction. I get that.
And this has just been like, all right, well, I wake up, I go to work, come home, eat, go back to sleep, go to work,
because there's nothing else to kind of sidetrack you. And I think that same monotony is what the people are experiencing at home, right? They're stuck at home, and it's the same thing. Wake up, work from home, you don't leave, right? And then at that point, you're eating your dinner, you're going back to where you spent most of your day, going to sleep, and then doing that same thing.
Yeah, it's definitely taken a toll, and I mean, I guess I'm glad that, like, my girlfriend, she was stuck at home most of the time because she fills in at CVS, but primarily she's a teacher.
Gotcha.
And it's just been doing stuff from home. Like, she's been using my mic and pair of headphones to actually record her lessons and her Zoom meetings because the microphone on her computer wasn't very good. But
and Zoom has exploded.
Zoom is a thing now. Skype is still behind the times, I guess.
Hell yeah, they are.
But yeah, it's just one of those things that I don't know. It's a weird feeling to know that the world is going on, but yet it's not going on at the same time, and it's definitely taken a toll on me, like emotionally.
Yeah.
So.
Those are my cats scratching
I was gonna say it's either your cats or fireworks going off in that room.
And that was probably Liam. Anyways, I've been very grateful the fact that as far as work goes, it's been kind of normal for me there. I had long days anyway, so if anyone can recall back in season 2, I mean sometimes we'd be running behind because I'd be caught up with work. So in that sense, it stayed normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I get the idea that there was nothing else that you could really do.
Yeah.
And so I actually picked up kayaking. Like I got my kayak out back there, and I was all like, all right. I mean, I guess I'll start doing something. So in the meantime, and so I started doing that more often. We're in Florida, kind of in the middle of I guess we're going into hurricane season or whatever the case is.
Yeah, we're going into
storms, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
We're going into hurricane season, and we're on an upswing where we're having like record cases or whatever now.
Yeah. Global warming is not a thing.
Yeah.
And so so it's probably been about a good 2 weeks since I've been out on the water.
I mean, I know DeSantis said he's keeping the state open, which I guess is a good yet bad thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, well, I thought he was okay. I don't get into politics, but I thought he was all right when I'm like, okay, well, this isn't terrible. And then I read
I voted for the other guy.
Oh, me too. But then when I read more about all the shady crap that he did, I'm like, well, I mean, he's just like Dad, and by Dad I mean
Trump. Don't be Trumpy.
So.
Anyways, all right. So let's transition here to another topic here that's affecting the world, and this one you're going to know a whole lot more about than I do. Hellraiser is a thing, right? So explain to people first, for those who don't know, what is the Hellraiser franchise?
It is a franchise that I really enjoy. It's a Clive Barker.
Your mother.
It's a Clive Barker creation. It's based off of his novel, The Hellbound Heart.
Okay.
He originally directed the first film because of the fact that he was tired of people adapting his books into crappy movies. So he's like, screw it, I'm going to do it myself. He had next to no actual directing experience, and it turned out to be, I think, probably one of the best. I don't want to call it an independent film, but it feels like it would probably be like an independent production considering the work that was put into it.
Okay.
It involves Pinhead and his demons, where people play with the box because they want the ultimate pleasure. So that would be like a.
That's what she said.
That would be like a pain equals pleasure type of idea. So
Gotcha.
you could fill that into like S&M type of stuff. But,
makes sense.
I really like the creativity as far as the way the demons look. I like the fact that hell itself, when you see it, hell itself is not. It's not like the fire hell. It's more of the Dante's Inferno cold
Oh,
hell.
okay.
It's
Gotcha.
like that type of idea.
Huh, I really
So-
need to watch these movies.
So it's fascinating to me.
Gotcha.
You need to watch some of them and not others.
I know.
But,
Yeah. I got to Henry Cavill it up. You got it.
yeah, and it's weird too because there's a whole arc spread across the first, second, third, and then sixth. Actually, number 6 actually is a sequel to number 3, which is bizarre. But it has the character of Kirsty, played by Ashley Lawrence. It has her in the role again. So it's kind of weird too because it's almost like a love story between Pinhead and Kirsty in a way.
Okay.
They have like an equal respect for each other. It's interesting to me.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of iconic, right? For any of those, I think who are even remotely into like horror films, Pinhead is an iconic character. Like they just, you know who he is, you know where he's from.
So much so that the two that did not feature Doug Bradley as Pinhead,
Yeah.
people were upset. However, the guy that was in Hellraiser Judgment, he actually didn't do a half bad job. So if you can give an open mind to him, he wasn't bad.
Wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
All right. So what's going on with I guess with the Hellraiser franchise?
Well, Hellraiser, just like every other horror franchise that came after 76, I think.
Yeah.
When the laws changed as far as that goes, that the creator after 20 or 30 years can take back their work.
Oh, yes.
So that's how Wes Craven got back the Wes Craven family got back the Nightmare on Elm Street series.
Okay.
Clive Barker now filed a lawsuit to try to get back the rights to Hellraiser. So that means that he would not have any rights to stuff that's in the past.
Gotcha.
But anything that would be made, because the soonest would be like in December of 2021. Theoretically, Lionsgate or Weinstein, whoever owns it, Dimension, I don't know where all that falls in.
Gotcha.
They could theoretically still make something
Okay.
between now and December of 2021 if this goes through, if Clive Barker gets the rights back. So it's interesting to me that the creators want to take them back. However, I feel like Clive Barker wants to take them back because he simply just doesn't want people to tarnish it anymore.
I'm about to say, screw his stuff
So
up.
I feel like nothing else would come from Hellraiser at that point until maybe his death or whatever.
That sucks.
So yeah,
Well, I mean, that sucks for anyone who wants the franchise to continue.
great for him as a creator.
Exactly.
Sucks for me as a fan that is also an apologist and will defend even the bad ones.
Gotcha.
So it sucks more because HBO was developing a TV show, and
I love HBO.
one of the writers was Michael Dougherty, the guy that wrote Superman Returns.
Oh, okay.
And also did Trick or Treat and did Krampus. He was writing the script for the pilot.
Okay.
And David Gordon Green, the one that made Halloween 2018, was set to direct.
Ah.
And I was actually very excited for
Halloween,
this.
For those who didn't know.
No,
I know.
I mean, it's
Has it grown on you?
It's all right. I mean, I got to watch it again.
Yeah.
But
I enjoyed that.
the fact that there was something moving with that and it could have been quality really bums me out because I don't know if they would be able to knock out a show between now and 2021 or in 2022 whenever Barker might get the rights back.
Gotcha.
Which, I mean, great for him, sucks for me as a fan. I support Clive Barker. He seems like a really cool dude from when I talked to him.
Yeah.
Talking to him about different books and stuff that he wrote.
And I feel like, especially in the right hands, right, there could be something, good that comes from that. Because I think Watchmen was one of those that, I think a lot of people were nervous about, right? The film was one experience. I think you and I both land on, we enjoyed the film. Yeah. But, movies got a lot of flack. That's a Zack Snyder thing, which we'll touch on him in a little bit. But then, you see how was it David Lindelof?
Damon.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. That got it over on HBO, and it was a good show.
Yeah, it was a sequel to the graphic novel.
Yep.
But I mean, I don't think you were entirely lost if you just viewed the movie.
Yeah.
I think there was enough. I mean, the only thing that really differed was the ending.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, if you really wanted to,
Squids.
well, if you really wanted to find out about it, you could
Yeah.
read up on it very
Yep.
easy as far as what happened different from the movie.
I've got the graphic novel now on my bedside. I've been reading through it slowly, very slowly.
You read 4 pages.
Maybe more like 12. And that's just because of how tied up I am with work. That's nothing speaking on the graphic novel itself.
I will say that it's actually a pretty meaty book.
It is.
Not just from the comic book panels.
Yeah.
But there's actual reading segments.
Yeah. I've flipped literally through it or whatever, and I'm just like, sweet Jesus, this is a lot.
It's like, all right, well, I finished this part of the book. This would be an issue. Oh wait, now I have like what 5 pages of actual novel to read.
Yeah. Damn it. Yeah, I knew it was gonna be a journey. So
yeah,
going through it, I enjoyed the film. I enjoyed the series. I believe I'm gonna enjoy this. And respecting each one in its own. In the sense that like I'm a huge Superman fan, and as much as I love the original Christopher Reeves films, I enjoyed parts of Superman Returns. I enjoy Cavill's interpretation, through the Man of Steel film. So understanding that each one is told a little different, but as a whole, still a fan of all.
So is it wrong that I still want Superman Lives? I'm fascinated by that whole thing.
I'm fascinated, and I'd watch it, right? Just because of everything that they've, you watched a lot of the behind the scenes stuff from the fitting.
I mean, I just watched something on it the other day, and I'm like, man, I really want to see this, and I know it doesn't exist.
And for the people who don't know, this is the one that was supposed to be directed by Tim Burton. And starring your homeboy
Nicolas Cage.
Nick Cage as Clark Kent himself.
Which, here, let's think. Imagine, because we're fans of Tim Burton's two Batman films.
Yeah, huge fans. Yeah. Batman and Batman Returns.
Yeah, we like both of them a lot. I mean, I think you're probably even a bigger fan than I am of them. But imagine what Tim Burton, how he stuck close, but yet put his own spin on it.
Yeah.
Imagine if he could have did that with Superman.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things with that were kind of cool from what I've heard.
And I like Tim Burton, right? I think you can definitely spot a Tim Burton film or produced film or whatever the case is, because he's got a unique style, right? I love that. That's the same thing like, Guillermo del Toro. He's got a unique style. What's his, is it Robert Rodriguez? No. Who am I thinking? Is that who I'm thinking? Robert Rodriguez? That he does the, oh my God. He did these old grindhouse type films not too long ago.
What? I mean, he did. He directed one.
He directed one of those, right? But I mean, I think he's got what else is he?
I mean, he directed Planet Terror, and then it was Tarantino that did Death Proof for the Grindhouse double feature.
Yeah. Okay. But you've got directors that really do. They've got a cool style. Tim Burton's one of those, and so it's all like, like I'd be interested to watch, what the hell he puts together for a Superman film. These are not casting decisions that I would have, gone with, with Nick Cage or whatever. But it's one of those things that when you've got a director that you trust, you go.
But it's a fascinating choice.
Exactly. You're like,
considering Michael Keaton is not an obvious choice.
No. And the thing is,
but he was great.
Maybe I was too young to really, like, when I saw Batman, I didn't think Michael Keaton, really? No, I was too young at the time. I watched it and I was like, this is amazing. But understanding his filmography before and then seeing
what are perceived images of
Bruce
Wayne,
of what Bruce Wayne is
would look like or be like, and he was actually great.
And you watch it and you're like, oh my God, this is awesome.
I mean, he was a great Bruce Wayne, and he was a great Batman.
That happened recently as well. I'm trying to remember who that. I mean, and granted, it's another Batman, right? Ben Affleck was one that no one saw that. No one said that, like, oh, he's going to be amazing. He got so much flack for it.
I know, and then everybody wants it.
And then you watch it and you go, oh no, this was a good decision. Great job, Zack Snyder. I don't know what you saw that we didn't, but I'm glad you did.
Daredevil. He saw Daredevil.
Go to hell. So because of that, it's the idea that, like, okay, well, if that's what you see Tim Burton in whatever, like image or whatever kind of world you were building, then fine. Like, I'll watch it. I would have watched it. I liked what Brandon Routh. I like Brandon Routh as Superman.
He was great.
But Bryan Singer.
He was great, but he was in a bad Superman
movie. And so, but that was the thing, right? I saw Bryan Singer had a vision for something, right? He put something together. And as much as I like Brandon Routh, Superman Returns it isn't a great movie. Like, it's got good parts.
Well, you know
it's good casted for Superman. Overall, the film is shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's got... I thought the whole thing was enjoyable. I saw it a few times.
Yeah.
And I liked it every single time, but the more I watched it, the less I liked it.
Okay. So,
but Bryan Singer was doing the
Logan's Run.
Well, he was
That's
doing.
the only reason why I took.
He was doing that Superman was like him, like an outsider. Bryan Singer supposedly felt like an outsider, being gay and this and that. So he incorporated a lot of that into the movie, but I don't see. Like,
I'm not mad at that. I'm not even mad at Kevin Spacey's interpretation of Lex Luthor.
Yeah, but it's fun. Kevin Spacey's
like you
Lex
can tell
Luthor
that
is fun.
And so again, it's got good parts to it. It's just overall, I was just all like, At the end of it, it was a real estate deal gone wrong. That's how Superman was getting hurt, and then he had this crap kid. Like, no, again, there are parts of it that are good. There's good casting. But again, he had a vision, right? And so the idea that Tim Burton, I don't agree with the casting. I would have watched.
I just remember the first time I saw Superman Returns. It was in IMAX at Channelside, which doesn't exist anymore.
No.
But it was like an IMAX 3D or whatever.
Yeah.
And the first time that his kid uses the Superman powers,
everybody
in the theater, what?
I'm going to tell you right now, when I watched that
there were so many people that were just like shocked.
And this will end up getting
out.
bleeped out. But when it happened, when I watched the kid push the piano, I go, what the fuck? And it was just like, no. I hate this kid.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I mean, but
Tim Burton. I'd have watched it.
Brandon Routh was not the problem with that movie.
No.
Kevin Spacey wasn't the problem.
No.
Bryan Singer was the problem.
That was some weak writing.
I mean, but it's got some good scenes too. Yeah. But as far as like some of the visuals are good.
Yeah. It was. I think a lot of it was a love letter to the old stuff. Cool. But going.
You know what? Let me put it this way, because it's a sequel to the first two.
Yep.
It's a better Superman 3 than Superman 3.
I agree.
So I mean, let's put it in that context. Compared to that, it's the weakest one.
Yep.
But it's still a better sequel than
you're right. I agree.
Actual number 3. So
and Marvin actually is going through watching all of them. So recently I've watched, and I don't know what sparked it because I actually didn't tell you guys this. But recently in a thread he just started texting that he's going through all of the Superman films. And in the past maybe month, I've actually watched the first two, right, original Christopher Reeve Superman films,
right,
and Superman Returns, and that's because I was showing them to my kids.
Okay.
My kids recently watched on their own over at their mom's house. They watched the crossover event on the CW for all the shows, and so when they saw Brandon Routh reprise, whatever you want to say, his role right as Superman, my daughter called me in the middle of my workday and goes, "Oh my God, what's his name got to play Superman again?" And she's all like, "From the one Superman movie." And I was like, "Yes, but that he's technically still
different,
a nod to the first two Superman films." And then I sent the kids on that journey.
Yeah, but he was a different Superman. It wasn't the same Brandon Routh Superman.
No, I know that. I know that. So. I explained to her the whole Kingdom Come thing, like I get it. But I was explaining to her that why he played, when he played Superman, who he was supposed to be.
I gotta say that I absolutely love the fact that she got all excited about that.
Yeah. Huge proud parenting moment for me. I was like, this right here, I did it right. I didn't screw that up. Yeah. So huge. I was immensely proud of that.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, middle of the day, freaked out, and she's like, and called me for it, and she said her mom didn't even understand.
It was that serious that she had to call you.
Right then, paused, called me, and I was all like, this is my kid. I didn't screw it up. But kind of jumping back to the whole Hellraiser thing, right? The idea that like, with the right set of eyes on it, they could deliver something that's actually good, right? It may not be the vision that was originally intended, right, to be told, but you could get something that genuinely has value.
Yeah, I mean, with the people attached to that HBO project,
Yeah,
it could be good.
yeah.
However, Clive Barker,
He's
no,
like, nah.
with the way he is as far as things,
Yeah,
he's not gonna allow it to proceed.
yeah,
I mean, it bugs me.
yeah. No, I agree.
But I mean, it's the same as like, all right, Wes Craven's family.
Yeah.
They have a Nightmare on Elm Street. They have that back. What are they gonna do with it? Robert Englund, the longer they wait, the longer Robert Englund won't be a part of it. And he even said he wouldn't mind doing something again.
More?
Yeah, he wouldn't mind doing it one more time, but he doesn't think it's going to happen, which it's probably not. Yep. So you have these rights. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
You going to get Jackie Earle Haley back?
I didn't hate him. I'm going to be honest with you.
As Freddy?
I didn't hate him as Freddy. But that's because I like Jackie Earle Haley. He sold it to me as Rorschach.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I watched Freddy. And Freddy, again, that's one of those movies that they went beat by beat, right, based off the original. That's like the Footloose film that went beat by beat based off. The remake was based off of the Kevin Bacon one. And it's all like, I see that.
Yeah, but
you didn't bring anything new to it.
But the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, the worst thing about it, it's kind of boring.
I agree.
But the dream sequences look great.
Yeah.
I mean, those were cool visually.
I liked them as Freddy. I was all like, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the original Freddy films anyway,
but
so
it's funny because,
I didn't lose anything.
Because Robert Englund is like tall and lanky.
Yeah. And Jackie Earle is this short.
And Jackie Earle Haley is this tiny dude. He's like what, 5 feet?
Yeah. I would have loved if you found a way to sneak in that I'm not trapped in here with you, you're trapped in here with me or whatever. I would have totally got it. I was like, yeah, this is worth it. This is all worth it.
I mean, he wasn't bad, but that design on the face was horrible.
I didn't hate it. But I want to, I guess for the listeners, you guys let me know or let us know if you've watched a film where there was a remake or remix or whatever the hell it is, where you were like, you know what, this was not what the originals were, but still love it. I think the next thing that might be big like that is Dune. I mean, I don't want to jump too much into that, but with Villeneuve kind of doing that.
Yeah, however you say his name. But
the guy's got a vision, man.
I am crazy excited for that. When I saw those preview images,
yeah,
I'm like, thank God they still used, like, as far as the suits and stuff and like look.
Yeah,
it looks like they're touching on the David Lynch,
one,
original.
Yeah. I
I'm kind of excited for that.
I like Villeneuve as a director. I think he's pretty awesome.
The only thing I saw was Blade Runner, and I didn't see the whole thing.
I watched it all, survived most of it.
I mean, it's deliberately slow, just like the original.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm trying to remember what he directed. Was it Arrival?
Yeah, The Arrival,
as well,
which I still haven't watched.
I thought that movie's beautiful. I like that. Sicario, I liked, which again,
I still haven't watched it.
Need to watch that.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's a good director. He definitely is. But I want to transition to the big one here because I know that this one is one that we've been waiting on for literal years. One of our episodes in season 2 is actually called "Release the Snyder Cut."
Right, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about how DC Universe is going to make a Swamp Thing season 2.
Yes,
you heard it here, and yeah.
Let's see if that's real.
It's not.
No, I'm saying in the future. Maybe by the time we drop this, it really is a thing, and everyone's like, "What?" IOHO dropped it first.
I mean, you know that's going to that's going to CW now too.
Is it?
No. Like they're gonna put it on CW, I guess, to see how it goes.
Sweet Jesus. Anyways, recently HBO, right? Well, let's take you through a journey here. All right, let me go back even further.
What are you going back like 4 years or whatever?
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, right? Man of Steel was produced by what's his name from The Dark Knight?
Nolan. Christopher Nolan.
Yeah. So Christopher Nolan produced Man of Steel, which was directed by Zack Snyder.
Yep.
And you can tell, right, that he had some influence there. It was reminiscent in a way of the Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises kind of trilogy. But it.
Well,
Go ahead.
I'm going to say outside of the like, I don't think Christopher Nolan would have ever done the ending that Snyder went.
No.
with.
Yeah.
But
Again,
but as far
there's
as
some influence there, but it was ultimately still a Zack Snyder film.
I'm going to say, like, the things that felt Christopher Nolan like were more of the smaller moments.
Yeah.
Such as Superman doing odd jobs.
Yeah.
He gets found out
the
because
down to earth stuff. I agree with that.
Because they were humanizing him a
yeah.
little bit and how he's struggling to fit in.
And so with that film, right, it was successful enough that they said, hey, let's move forward with a sequel, right? It was so successful that people were hyped for a sequel, and the reveal for the sequel was actually pretty big, where it turned out to be Batman v Superman, right? They were going to introduce a new Batman so soon. It was a big comic book, right? People were all looking for it. Comic-Con was huge.
Yeah, they were super excited for that. Wasn't it's kind of like the Batman Superman Public Enemies, I think, is what they were going off of.
I think so. I can't confirm.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna need Zigzag to
exactly
to confirm on
to
that.
go ahead and throw that in there for me. I look forward to touching on this in the next episode. But Batman v Superman came out, right, and where the first movie was kind of given flack for its darker, like I think more gritty tone than what people were used to. Zack Snyder doubled down. He said
he did.
Yeah, he said, I don't care. This is what I'm doing. And so Batman v Superman, again, it made money, but it wasn't as big as what people thought it was going to be.
It was, and you got to mention too, it was critically panned.
Yeah.
Critically panned.
Yeah.
Audience panned it.
2.5 hours long. It introduced a lot. It introduced Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman.
Yep.
What's his name? Is Flash?
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller. Thank you.
Which
as Flash.
who knows with his future is the Flash
What's going on there?
because he's strangling women.
Sweet Jesus. And
Isn't
Ben
that
Affleck.
what he did?
There's a lot going on, man. And Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne, the Dark Knight himself, right? Batman. A lot of parts there people liked individually. Overall, as a film, people didn't like it. The film, when it got its release on disc and digital, gave you a director's cut, 3 hours long,
Which was rated R too.
it was, and in my opinion, better than the theatrical version because they explained a lot of the stuff. There was stuff there that shouldn't have been cut.
Right.
It just shouldn't have.
And these cuts were mandates from WB.
Yeah, from Warner Brothers.
So
And so that's what you got there. And then finally pushed forward, Justice League was what was announced next, right? And that was a kind of hit from left and right. It was initially supposed to be 2 films. It got cut down to 1. Zack Snyder himself had a loss in his family, pulled out of the project. Later on, it was revealed that it looked like they were trying to oust him anyway because they didn't like the cut that was there.
He was fired.
Yeah, and they were trying to let him go. Joss Whedon was brought in. Reshoots happened. Henry Cavill came back to do reshoots, had a mustache. It was a whole thing for those who didn't know. And Justice League bombed.
That's one of the things that rubs me the wrong way on that Justice League thing. They took his personal tragedy and used that as an excuse.
As the excuse, yeah.
And he went along with it, I'm guessing, because he had to at the time.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure that he probably wouldn't have fought back so much. But, I mean, he's in an emotional state. Do you really want to, what's the bigger battle here? Deal with the loss of my child or, the artistic whatever over on this end? So
yeah, but it was a battle.
I think he went the familial route.
Warner Brothers would have overruled him no matter what, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a thing. Like, he would have been like, "Hey, I'm doing this." Warner Brothers like, "Hey, remember that half hour we made you cut from BBS
from that, So that was one of those things that, I mean, it was ripped apart. And I was one where I went in. Hey, look, man, there was an arc there with Superman that, like, maybe that's the way it would have panned out. But who knows? The thing for me, though, is that, and I know we've had this discussion, like, in our personal lives in the past.
Right.
I watch enough movies, right, that sometimes you can actually, just by watching a film on your television or whatever the case, you can spot when it's a reshoot. You can spot when it's a digital background instead of, a full actual set. Sometimes you can tell when they're filming on a set. It's the way that the walls are built or the way that the layout is that you can tell, oh, this is on a soundstage. This isn't in an actual, like, on location anything. Sometimes you can't tell.
My favorite things with that is when they do edits when people are talking to each other and their heads aren't
right.
It doesn't gel with the scene that was just there.
Yep.
But they cut to a different camera angle and all of a sudden their head is turned a different way.
Different way, yeah.
That's actually pretty entertaining because that's something I notice more than anything.
Yeah, gotcha. And so, and it does, right? And sometimes you can, that same thing where it cuts in close, where the shot was a little bit wider, and it's all like, no, this was added. Yeah. This wasn't here initially. Y'all added a little bit more. You needed to flesh out, whatever it is. But the thing is that we watch enough, right, that these things are huge, like flags when we're watching movies. And for Justice League, from the beginning of the film, it happened. Like, there it was. His mouth was all off with the, footage, the cell phone footage.
Which I'm going to say, in the movie's defense, bad mustache removal or not, I actually like that intro.
The intro wasn't the problem.
I know, but
the film was marred with a bunch of other things.
But I actually liked the introduction idea. With the kid talking to Superman. I actually really like.
I'm not ripping on that. I'm ripping on the fact that you can tell he wasn't. Yeah. His face wasn't right. And so a lighter color palette. There was all kinds of things going wrong. But then the internet starts to go at it. Right? Hey, look. You look at trailers. And there were alternate scenes, right? The colors changed, characters removed. I think at one point there's a shot of like Wonder Woman where she drops down and Aquaman and the Flash were behind her. But in the final like release of the film, it's just her that drops down. There's shots of Cyborg with a mask. There's shots of the Flash saying other things. Cyborg completely cut out when he was human. Yeah. Where you see him in his what is it, Letterman jacket or whatever it is. There's just. They were like, yo, there's so much that isn't here. What happened to it? And we want Zack Snyder's cut.
And it's crazy that there's so much that was in like the first trailer that was not actually in the movie.
Yep.
Because it's stuff taken from Zack Snyder's movie. What is it? Like 70% of the movie was like reshot or something?
I think so. And so the budget for the film ballooned to over $300 million. And the movie looks like shit.
Yeah,
that's my take.
I mean, I agree. I think it looks pretty lousy as a whole. I'm not a fan of that red. Like, what is it? Like when they're in Russia or wherever it's at.
Yeah.
And like the whole thing is like red.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zack Snyder's removing that. You know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't there. If you watch the original trailer, it's not that dark red tint or whatever.
No, it's like the bluish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? And so, last year, we actually spoke about this. There was a rumor that was put out on the internet that, hey, HBO is planning on releasing a new platform next year, or later on, right, called HBO Max. They're supposed to put new content. And the idea that people had already been asking for at least a year or two, right? Hey, release the Zack Snyder cut. Release it, which is, it's unprecedented. It's something that never, ever happened. So what the hell makes you think that this is going to, be a thing? They've released director's cut, which they've added, extra footage on a DVD. A producer's cut I've seen a few of.
You could say that Superman 2.
The Richard Donner cut?
The Richard Donner cut, you could say that. Which...
Because they do have, unfinished footage in there and alternate takes and stuff like that.
And not only that...
But how long after? You know what I mean? And this is something that the internet just kept going at it. And then that was the tie-in. They were like, yo, supposedly HBO might be looking at doing this or whatever. And then leading up to what eventually was the reveal, right, was that Zack Snyder just kept throwing out another image or another, artist's interpretation or an alternate take or whatever. He's all like, well, I was thinking about doing this and I had this, as an idea. And I was thinking of maybe shooting this instead. And these are plans that I had. And then eventually they do a... what's this viewing party that they started doing online? And Zack Snyder finally comes out and was all like, yo, so HBO said we're gonna release the Zack Snyder cut
Yeah,
of Justice League.
like where that woman goes and says about it. He's like, "Yeah, let's do it." I mean, it's so cheesy,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome that we're getting this.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about it. It's got a weird aspect ratio too.
Does it? I didn't catch that.
166 to 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. And it's been officially titled Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. This does a couple things. It puts the idea right that for those directors and for those producers, for those actors, right, and everyone that's like behind the production of a film, that for those people who work so hard and then a film does get mistreated because of studio heads, right, getting in the way of what they think is supposed to be told, as opposed to what those artists are actually trying to put out.
Well, you heard what the actual story on that was too. Is that Warner Brothers was upset with the reaction to Batman versus Superman.
BVS.
They were upset with that.
Yep.
So that was the reactionary.
They're like, no, this needs to happen. This needs to happen, and they should have left it alone. Realistically, I mean, at least
who's to say it's better? I mean, let's play like devil's advocate.
it can't be worse.
I mean, it's probably not going to be worse.
I don't think it can.
I
be.
mean,
it's going to be a lateral move or it's going to go up, because Justice League, as it stands, is bad. It's visually, it hurts my eyes, and although I enjoy parts of it, overall it's a bad movie.
I would have been excited to see because wasn't most of the Justice League was going to get killed.
Is that the idea?
Yeah, like Affleck's Batman was going to get killed.
Yeah,
and Flash was going to like reset everything, and then
go
like
back
they were going to have to lose in order to succeed, which I think is kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. And maybe some explanation behind Flash kind of jumping through time in that. In BVS, right, where he visits Bruce Wayne.
Yep.
The idea that Darkseid was actually supposed to be, someone we saw, something that we experienced on film. There were so many hints throughout that there was supposed to be a bigger story told, and I feel, I mean, once you watch Justice League, you're just kind of like, oh, it's like those movies that you watch that it feels rushed at the end. You're like, oh, y'all realize the runtime? They're like, you took an hour and 20 minutes to set up until this point, and then you go, oh no, wait, we've only got 10 minutes left to tell this story. Let's close it out. And and he woke up, and it's like, no, you're cheating me.
So I know that's great that it's going to be on HBO Max and everything.
Yeah,
I really want a physical copy of it though.
I think they will. You know how much money they're going to make off this thing?
Oh, it's gonna.
Now, granted,
it's going to be huge. I mean, whether it's good or bad, it's going to be a big deal.
The rumored investment is going to be base $30 million, because I think that's what HBO execs have actually stated publicly. But supposedly that number is closer to $100 million. So
right.
Another, and again, just to put that into perspective, $300 million, over $300 million have already been dropped into this one film, and now you're going to get another close to $100 million thrown at it.
In its defense, it's a different movie.
I agree.
We should look at it as two different projects, but we
should. And I'm going to watch these things back to back at some point. I feel like I've watched Justice League more times than I should have, honestly.
I watched it once, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't come away with the feeling that like Marvin had, where he was like, "Yeah, this is the route they should take." I'm like, nah.
Yeah, I get the arc, the idea that hey, like he suffered, he tried to figure out everything. He dies and he comes back and goes, you know what? To Man of Steel, Superman.
You're okay. Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's what I'm referencing. Sorry.
Superman's arc is actually good in
the movie. Like it makes sense. Overall, right? But again, you're looking at one person's path over the course of 3 films, not the entire story being told over the course of 3 films. And that's where it falls apart, because I think Man of Steel did a good job of setting up the like, hey, look, so this is kind of like our linchpin, right? This is the one constant throughout. This is something that happens. I didn't get a Superman 2, or a Man of Steel 2, I should say. I didn't get a Man of Steel 2. Instead, I got, hey, so this is a bigger world, right? That things are happening in, and you go, oh, okay, so we've got other superheroes, fine. And then they go, oh, well, Justice League, there's this force of people And they're fighting
So-
this guy with a funny hat.
What? Okay, so it drives me crazy because I don't know who in the world said, I forget, the one producer said about Batman BVS. He said about that, and he's like, "Oh, remember, it's a Man of Steel sequel."
No,
And it wasn't.
No,
I
it's
mean,
not.
it's a continuation, sure, for those characters, but it's definitely not an actual.
No, it's not
Man
a
of
true
Steel
sequel
2.
to what he was trying to deal with. Because again, I think the story in the and for those purists out there, hey, look, man, I love Christopher Reeve's Superman. Like, let me get that out there right now. Right, he's top, right, cream of the crop or whatever.
Yeah.
He's the shit. But the thing is, oh, that's my third.
It's your third.
Maybe I'll bleep that one out. Two curse words to bleep out. But the thing is, right? The story told for Man of Steel is that, hey, this guy is being told by his parents, who are very protective of him, that like don't expose yourself, don't put yourself out there, and he's battling with the idea that like, well, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, which is very different from Pa Kent. Right, from Superman, old school Christopher Reeves,
Yeah.
where that idea is that like, you're special, you're supposed to be like this change, you're supposed to be different, and so the idea here that, well, I need to figure out who I am in order to be this something greater, was what we were getting in Man of Steel, and we never got the continuation to that. Instead, we got, there's this threat across the lake over in Gotham, and that's
Yeah.
a problem. I need to deal with that, and so again, that's a different story. That's a different character. That's a different arc. I wanted more Man of Steel.
I'm gonna say again, the intro to BVS.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
What was the intro to BBS?
Where Bruce Wayne just so happened to be be in Metropolis when all that was going down.
That was beautifully
I mean,
shot.
I thought it was a great scene.
It was. I remember being in the theater for that and going like, "Oh, this is awesome!"
Yeah.
And they timed it just right, where you do get to see an alternate look, and I was like, they must have used that footage or stuff, whatever they did. It was great. It was a great intro.
But
it set up a very different. But again, now you're telling Batman's story.
Sure.
You're not continuing Clark Kent.
Right, but let's look at it this way. They really did do a good job of laying that out. And I do believe that Zack Snyder actually did have a plan.
I agree.
And it's worse when you think about how disjointed the whole thing is now. And as much as I complain about shared universes, I do enjoy shared universes. It just gets a little much, like when you're in with Marvel with like 20 plus films.
Yeah.
Plus you got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Plus,
Jesus.
which I think is awful for the most part, but I know people like it, but it's just a lot to ask from somebody to continue to do that
We said this years ago, right? Marvel, they took an approach that worked out, right? They said, hey, look, we're going to tell these individual stories, and then we're going to lead up to the team. We're going to tell those individual stories continuing, and then we're going to tell you the continuation of the team, right? It worked. It panned out. 10 years, billions of dollars. Hey, man, good job, guys. I'm a fan. I think that, or not I think, but we said way back when that, hey, DC doesn't have to do that, right? Because the idea is that they're not taking these individual characters that aren't, that are odd people, right? Iron Man, not everyone knew. Hulk, not everyone knew.
That's what I'm going to say. Is that
the difference is, this is Superman, this is Batman, this is Wonder Woman. You know what I mean? This is the Flash. Everyone knows who that is. They could have come out the gate saying, "Hey, this is the Justice League," and then go,
which
this is what they're dealing with.
Honestly, it almost happened with George Miller. When he was making it, almost happened.
Yeah,
but the writer shutdowns and stuff killed that.
That was a bad time.
Yeah,
writer strike. Yeah.
I mean, especially since they had everybody suited up, and I mean, they were ready to essentially start.
And again, that could have worked, right? Because the idea is that they didn't have to copy that model, right? They had characters that are easily recognizable worldwide.
And that's the thing, is that Marvel took like their
second, third tier characters.
Yeah, second and third tier characters, and made them
A-listers
and made them stars.
Everyone knows who these people are. The Falcon, Bucky Barnes, like, people recognize these.
Yeah.
These characters that are nobody. Spider-Man was always big.
Well, that's what I'm getting at, is that they didn't have Spider-Man.
Yep.
To do that, so
they built
And it's almost like the gun is at their head.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to make this into something.
Yep.
Obviously Iron Man was testing the waters,
Yep.
but it wound up being a huge hit.
Huge.
It was one of those right movies at the right time.
Yeah. Right director, right star. They did, right. They found lightning and they bottled it or whatever, and from there, the MCU is a thing.
Right.
It sucks that I feel like whatever faith they had in whoever was throwing in Feige, right, which was throwing everything together back then, for the MCU, they didn't have that over on the DC side. Warner Brothers didn't do that, and so because of that, I feel like Man of Steel was one vision. Batman v Superman had to be something else because the studio interjected, and in Justice League was yet another one because the studio execs interjected again.
I don't doubt that BVS was originally a Man of Steel sequel.
Yeah,
I don't doubt that, but Warner Brothers are the ones that forced Batman in it.
Yep. And that was because of I at least for me, I think that's because of the success of what the MCU was going through at that time. They said, "Hey, look, we need to bring in more. We need to do a little bit more because this is currently what's trending."
Yeah.
And it impacted it. Wonder Woman, I think, was affected in that way. Flash got delayed, and now the new Batman film, I think that one's going through like some back and forth too with everything going on.
Who knows if that's even going to resume filming? With all the COVID stuff, they can use that as an excuse to just kill it if they want.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of indifferent to that, honestly.
Yeah. Pattinson kind of shot himself in the foot, in my opinion. I'm willing to give him a shot. So I honestly would like to see just more Batman, more Superman, these things, but I would prefer it to be a continuation of the Snyderverse, which leads into some very interesting things if Justice League is successful. Okay. With Justice League, I know you and I were talking, and you're not looking forward to it, but we could get the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad, which here's the crazy thing. David Ayer said it would not take much to actually get that into a movie. I guess it's already edited. He has his cut, or Warner Brothers has it locked up, or whatever. Yeah.
The only thing that needs to be done, I'm guessing, is like some sound recording and stuff like that. But his cut of that is essentially ready to go, and I'm curious to see how different it is, because that's another one that was cut.
Yeah.
Because of people's reaction. To BVS and whatnot.
Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that's what heavily influenced that, because remember, even the trailers were made to kind of mock that.
They were still reacting.
No, right. Yes,
every single decision,
because of people's
every decision they made is reactionary.
No, you're right, and that's
because
that's a problem.
Yeah, I mean now we're getting what's his face? Aquaman. We're getting that stupid trench movie.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. That's probably
that's
not.
Stupid.
That's
no,
probably
that's
not happening.
No, probably not. But the thing is that I'm glad that I'm glad that Zack Snyder finally gets to complete a vision. Right? Go ahead, throw it out there, man. Like I said, it can only be lateral or up from here. Yeah. But I'm glad that of all places, of all I guess people that could have touched it, I'm glad it's HBO that got it. Because
I'm glad that AT&T said, "Hey, Warner Brothers, screw you, you're gonna do it."
Supposedly, it was a logistical nightmare as far as like all the legal hurdles they had to jump through. But I love the fact that now it's a studio and it's a director that I go, "Oh, okay." Whether this turns out bad or not, it's gonna be in the hands of people that at least I trust. So it's all like, finish it.
I'm just happy that Warner Brothers were told that this is what's happening.
Yeah,
that they're doing.
I forgot. AT&T bought them out, right? Is that the way that happened?
AT&T owns all that.
Yeah, all that now.
Yeah. So I love the fact that AT&T, normally a company that I hate, and I am a subscriber to their wireless.
Yeah.
I'm glad they just simply told Warner Brothers, "Hey, we're doing this. And if you don't like it, well, whatever, we're doing it."
Take that to the face.
It's happening.
TITF.
And I actually like what Zack Snyder, somebody tweeted at him or whatever and said, "Hey, should we just give up on Justice League?" Zack Snyder gave one word to respond. He said, "Don't." I just think that's cool, man.
It is. I know it is.
I mean, Zack Snyder seems like a cool guy, to
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah, he's a nerd through and through. That's kind of it. We've had you guys tied up for over an hour here.
I mean, but it was a good conversation.
No, it was for sure. Let us know, right, if you guys are down.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Can we push this like 5 minutes in the future?
What's up?
Say this happens. I said about the Suicide Air cut. Or Suicide Squad air cut. Where do you think they go?
For the air cut?
No, I'm talking about after, because let's say Justice League is a success. It sells on Blu-ray or 4K or whatever.
Everything.
It does great on HBO.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers is not interested in pursuing other theatrical movies.
Yeah.
But HBO needs content.
Yeah, so they go, let's pull this one.
And they definitely got the money to make things happen.
Yeah.
So who's to say we don't get that Batman movie that Affleck was working on?
Yeah.
Rumor has it they would want to make that into like a mini-series type of idea.
That'd be cool.
And, say we get like those hour and a half episodes. I mean, we already have Westworld that's super high quality. It looks like a movie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Westworld's beautiful, no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what somebody feels about the show, you can't deny it.
Visual, they got a lot.
I mean, it's stunning to see, especially
Yeah,
season 3, really.
Yeah, they pull it off.
I mean, do you think that they could continue Snyder's universe?
That's right.
And,
this is their...
and WB could actually go and just continue with what they're doing.
So let's actually let's kill a couple minutes here and talk about this.
I mean, because it's a fascinating conversation.
So I think it's possible, right? But I think that the amount of money that they have to pull in for this, right? Let's say it is $100 million investment. I think they've got to make 3. Understand HBO's advertising isn't going to be the same as a theatrical release, right, or whatever. So I don't think they're going to spend another 100, 200 million on advertising. I don't think they have to, if I'm being completely honest with you. This thing is already got buzz out the ass.
Yeah, it's gonna sell itself.
Exactly. So I think that if they spend 100 million and they make 300 million, right, off of this, and they pull in a sizable amount of subscribers for a couple months or whatever, I think they'll go, you know what? That was a success. Let's pull and see if we can duplicate that. Not exceed, but if they can do that same number with Ayer's cut, then I think they'll go, all right, screw it. Let's go. Let's push it forward.
That's where I think it's an interesting division.
Yeah.
Because I think Justice League is already written off as a loss. AT&T did not incur that loss financially.
Yeah, you're right.
Only thing that they're doing now is helping finance this.
Yep.
And I'm going to say that I'm thinking Snyder's probably doing it for free just because he wants to do it.
Finish it?
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll get some paid.
So, he probably gets some sort of back-end payment, but I still don't think that he's...
No, that's substantial.
He's getting,
$46 million
Yeah.
because he got percentage points.
Yeah.
I think it's possible. I would be intrigued to see, right, that if they really did, if they were able to pull those two off, even though I have no interest in Suicide Squad,
but keep in mind it's a completely different movie.
Yeah. So if they pull those off or whatever and go, okay, we made a crap ton of money, I actually would be interested to see if they finally brought Affleck back and they said, hey, you remember that one thing you were going to star in and direct? Let's go ahead and throw $140 million at that, and you give me 8 hours worth of production. I'd watch it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have to be Whenever they stretch it over that, it doesn't have to be action on top of action on top of action. It doesn't have to be, $20 million set a sequence or whatever.
Let's keep in mind the one that it wasn't Affleck or Chris Terrio, the two that were working on the script. It wasn't It wasn't that it was an issue with their script.
Yeah,
they said they couldn't crack it. They couldn't bow down to what Warner Brothers wanted, and that's why he said, "Screw it."
I'm out.
I'm out, and this is what it is.
Yep.
It's not that he actually wanted to quit, but it seems like he was probably under a lot of stress trying to make this happen.
Yep.
And how frustrating would it be? You're in your 6th rewrite, say, and then, hey, you know what? It's all right. Maybe you should do this.
Yep.
All right. Go back to the drawing board, rewrite the script, spend 2-3 weeks, whatever.
Yep.
Tweaking it, all kinds of things.
Yep.
Turn it in again. well, it's still not there. It's not what we want.
Yeah.
And it's like, when is the point where it's enough? Like, I understand why he started drinking again. Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. He got screwed.
I mean, it's got to be a very frustrating thing to happen. And I think he would get that same sort of satisfaction if he could come back and make what he wanted to make.
Yeah.
And this is all being done separate from WB.
Yeah.
I mean, it's being done, it's an AT&T thing.
Yep.
Since, they're a part of that division.
Yeah, I think
So-
that's going to depend a lot on that. And then keep in mind that I think for Suicide Squad to even happen, bear in mind that another Suicide Squad's already being made. I don't know how the licensing works in regards to that. The thing I know about the Superman license, and this is just because I read into Superman stuff, is that for that license specifically, you can have 3 iterations of that character being told at the exact same time. Right, you can have.
Oh, really?
Yep, you can have a theatrical version of Superman at the same time. You can have a television version of Superman, as well as what's the other medium?
Radio.
Yeah, maybe.
Last time on Superman.
but I remember that being like specifically the number there. That like you can have 3 iterations existing at the exact same time, and there's no conflict there. They've got it broken up into 3 different licenses in a way.
That's actually fascinating.
So because of that, it's all like, okay, sure, I could see how they could continue this over on one medium, especially because online streaming or whatever. Oh, streaming, that's the other thing. Technically, at the time, streaming was another medium altogether. So the idea that that sure, Justice League can come back because it is technically one medium compared to it being another, or not being another. We get that possibility. I don't know if that works with Batman. I don't know if that's the same story with these other characters with Suicide Squad. So because of that, it's okay.
Honestly, the James Gunn Suicide Squad,
yeah,
I don't think it has to fit in. I mean, the only common denominator here is what? Harley Quinn.
I think one other character, isn't it?
I think Captain Boomerang is
Yeah,
back
I think
too.
that's
I mean, yeah, but I mean,
Jesus.
for the most part, I mean, from what I heard, Birds of Prey didn't follow what was in Suicide Squad either. So
Yeah.
so I don't know. I mean, that's all jumbled
No,
up.
I think they
I don't think it matters.
They
too
do
much.
touch on like the fact that they broke up or whatever.
Yeah, but
it was
they're-
like 5 years after. I think they specifically referenced that and then just ignored after that. They were just all like, "Hey, this Harley Quinn was that one or whatever," but now we're done there. Now the Joker isn't like his protection isn't there for her or some crap. I read something about it and I was just all like,
I mean, I'm
it's true.
gonna watch it at some point. I mean, I guess when it comes on HBO Max.
I'm
or
trying
whatever.
to I'm trying to avoid it. my kids are like, "We want to watch it," and I was like, "But I really don't want to."
You know what? I hope they make you watch it.
You're a bastard. I already watched Artemis Fowl. I'm good. Anyways, so with that being said, again, guys, let us know how you feel about about these new versions of films being released. Zack Snyder's Justice League, David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Hit us up on any of our platforms. I want to take a quick shift here. This isn't so much a conversation, but more an acknowledgement of the fact that the world is hurting right now, right? The world has been hurting for a good bit with COVID, and then it has come to light with police brutality and the fact that Black Lives Matter. It comes down to change on a very serious level, but on a very, I guess, on a very personal level, in the sense that it's you, right? For those of you listening, it's you that can make that change. It's you that can make that impact. A lot of people, and try not to hate us too much for going political here, right? But a lot of people don't vote, and they talk about doing it. It matters. It does matter. It does make a difference.
Yep.
Get out there and actually, play your part. Because at the end of it all, suffering, whether or not it's happening to you, can affect all of us, right? So let's try and make that change.
Well, let's think about it. You said about the suffering it affects everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it really does, either directly or indirectly.
Yep.
Because if it doesn't affect you directly, there's that indirect where, you're right now you're having the businesses looted and everything.
Yep.
All right, well, now you can't go to this place. So guess what? It did affect you.
Yep.
And you're 100% right on the get out there and vote, because that's, and also read up on who you're voting for.
Yeah, don't just follow your favorite podcaster. Don't just follow your favorite movie star. Get out there and learn the stuff for yourself. Sorry to cut you off, but you were saying.
No, I was just saying, like, that's a very big part of it. You know, people want change, with the cops and everything.
Yep.
I don't think defunding is completely the right answer, but that's just me personally. But what I do think needs to be looked at is the people that are in charge of all that stuff. Who is your sheriff?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. You gotta do that.
And so, and that is a very important part. And just to show you again that just because you have opposing opinions on certain things, that doesn't make you enemies in any sense, right? Adam and I have known each other for years. I am on the other side of that as far as I believe there should be some defunding for the police, right? And again, conflicting ideas, that doesn't mean that we have to fight, right? That means that we find a solution, and together. So get out there, do your reading, do your research, do the best you can to do something, not just talk about it. So with that being said, hey guys, I love you so much for listening. Thank you for jumping in. Again, I know season 3 has been very different. I know that's a very harsh way to end it there. But by all means, man, let us know what you think. Let us know what you feel. I'm Will. You can always find me over at... I did switch my Twitter handle. I am now the Will of Krypton on Twitter. So see if you can find me there.
I gotta be honest, I haven't used Twitter in quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll go in there and look at something, but as far as...
Boobs?
No, not even that. No, I haven't done a whole lot of tweeting.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But you've got your podcast.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Adam_analyzes, yeah, and then also that's the name of my podcast. So if you like the sound of my voice and want to hear me talk about movies and such, and maybe Macho Man will make an appearance.
Yeah,
which he just did.
That's right. And of course, you can always find us and all of those links over at inouronestopinion.com. Again, guys, thank you so much for everything. We look forward to talking to you guys next week. See you.
Good night.